New York City's an interesting city in the sense that most people rely on the subway to get in and around, up and down. I know I'm on 4 different trains a day at least, Monday through Friday. So I do know voters in New York City that subway safety, they're one issue voters, and that issue is subway safety. What issues specifically matter to New York City residents?
Yeah, and if we talk about the subway specifically, 48% say that it's becoming less safe, and there was very little daylight between demographics there. Now, that's not necessarily to say that the subway is their top priority. About a third say that they want the next mayor to focus mostly on crime and public safety, and then 23% say housing, 10% want that mayor to focus on the migrant crisis. There is a little bit of difference here between age groups and other folks, but I think the takeaway is that younger voters are much more likely to say that they want the mayor to focus on housing and housing affordability. So a plurality agree that housing is their top issue for the next mayor. I don't know if we see that reflected in the mayoral top lines here, but that seems to be top of mind for these younger voters.
I've had a lot of conversations with city council members, with everyday New Yorkers, with economists about New York City's congestion pricing. It went into effect at the beginning of January. Even President Trump has weighed in on this. It costs drivers $9 during peak hours if they enter the city below 60th Street in Manhattan. What do voters think about congestion pricing?
Yeah, and voters are split on congestion pricing. We've seen this before, but here it is very much split down the middle. 44% want to get rid of congestion pricing versus 42% who want to keep it. Slightly higher rates of older voters want to keep congestion pricing. But what I think is really interesting is that minority voters are far more likely to want to get rid of congestion pricing in New York City. So that's not to say that it is unpopular, but we see this as very much split down the middle. There's not too many differences here, but those white voters want to keep congestion pricing in place. Minority voters far less likely to want to keep it.
Cuomo has the lead here, followed by undecided in second place. We know that the primary is in June. So if I'm Governor Cuomo and I'm seeing number 2 is undecided, does that make me feel better or worse? What do you think?
I think that that's making me feel much better. Being in this spot, having a plurality of the vote, and really not seeing my vote share fall month to month or week to week, and without a single real challenger in second place, that's exactly where I would want to be. I think that his campaign is in very good shape as things stand. If I were him, I would hope for really little media attention, ride in on high name ID. But I don't think that he's necessarily going to get that wish. I think especially in an off election year, there's going to be quite a bit of media attention, but he's probably pretty happy having that undecided number in second place right now.
Well, thank you so much for your numbers. And as you continue to take more polls, I really hope we continue our many conversations. Matt Taglia, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks so much for having me, Brittany.